I never imagined I'd be the kind of man who would plant hidden cameras in his own home. It always seemed like something other people did. People who didn't trust, who had already given up. But doubt is a slow poison. It doesn't announce itself with a bang. It creeps in, subtle and quiet, until it wraps around you completely. There was no single moment that pushed me over the edge. Just a collection of tiny shifts. The way her eyes lit up when she checked her phone, as if the world on that screen meant more than the one beside her. The abrupt ends to conversations when I entered the room. The late nights that once were occasional, but soon became routine. I kept telling myself I was being paranoid. That after nearly a decade together, 6 of them married, I owed it to us to trust her. Her name was Lily. For the longest time, she was my anchor, my best friend, my peace. But somewhere along the way, she started to feel like a stranger. A familiar figure with unfamiliar silence. I thought maybe it was my fault. Too much work, too much distraction, not enough presence. I told myself it would pass. That the discomfort in my chest was just anxiety, not instinct. Still, something didn't sit right. So I did something I never thought I would. I bought discreet cameras and installed them around the house. Not to catch her in anything. Just to quiet the unease. I kept telling myself I'd laugh about it later, feel embarrassed, and take them down. For a while everything seemed fine. Lily went about her days as she always had. Laughing at shows, sipping wine, texting as she curled up on the couch. I started feeling guilty, like I had broken something sacred. Then Thursday came. She said she'd be working late again. Her tone was casual, cheerful, just like all the other times. I had plans to meet a friend that night, but something held me back. I canceled and stayed home glued to the feed. Hours passed with nothing unusual. And then just after 10 the front door opened. Lily walked in. But she wasn't alone. A man followed her in. He was tall, moved with ease, like he belonged there. And she didn't look caught off guard or hesitant. She looked content. Comfortable. She smiled at him with the same warmth I once thought was mine alone. They sat together, close. His hand found her shoulder. She laughed. And then, without a second of doubt, she leaned in and kissed him. I sat frozen, watching the life I thought I had fall apart in real time. No yelling. No tears. Just a dull, cold emptiness spreading through me like frost. I watched the footage over and over that night, hoping there was something I missed, some detail that changed the context, made it all okay. But there wasn't. It was all there, clear and raw. This wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. One she made with ease, without guilt. I didn't say anything that night. Didn't confront her. Didn't reveal what I knew. She came home the next days like nothing had changed, talking about plans, movies, holidays. But to me, her words were just noise. Echoes in a space where love used to live. I nodded when I needed to. Smiled when expected. But inside I was gone. I became invisible in my own home, drifting through rooms like a shadow. Every night, I lay beside her in bed, silent and still, haunted by that video. I couldn't stop remembering. Her laughter, the way she looked at him, the way she used to look at me. I checked the footage again, not because I hoped for something new, but because I couldn't accept that it was real. That the woman who once held my hand when life was falling apart was now the one quietly tearing me down. And then one day it broke. I came home earlier than usual. She didn't hear me. I stood quietly in the hallway, listening as she laughed into her phone, her voice soft and flirtatious. It wasn't for me. It hadn't been for a long time. Something inside me just stopped. Not with rage. Not with heartbreak. Just a stillness, as if the storm had passed and left only wreckage behind. That evening, she hummed as she made dinner, completely unaware. When I walked into the kitchen, she turned with that same familiar smile. The one I once lived for. "We need to talk," I said calmly. She blinked, a little confused. "What's wrong?" I didn't answer. Just took out my phone, pulled up the video, and pressed play. The color drained from her face as she watched herself in that moment of betrayal. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "It's not what it looks like." A hollow laugh escaped me. "No, Lily. It's exactly what it looks like." She broke down, fell to the floor, sobbing, grabbing at my leg, begging me to understand. Please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I love you. We can fix this. But her words were just air, empty syllables falling on ears that no longer listened. I looked at her, not with hate but with finality. You're not sorry you did it, I said. You're sorry I found out. She cried harder, promised to change, to undo it all. But the man who once believed her, who loved her without question, he was gone. I looked at her one last time and said goodbye. Then I left. No shouting. No slamming doors. Just quiet. The kind of silence that feels like peace after too many sleepless nights. I packed a small bag, not to run, just to reclaim space for myself. She called, messaged, sent long emails filled with memories and apologies. I never answered. Not out of anger, but because there was nothing left to say. I found a small apartment and started over. The nights were hard in the beginning. The silence felt sharp. But slowly it got easier. The pain gave way to clarity. I forgave her. Not for her, but for myself. Because holding on to the bitterness would only keep me stuck. Betrayal doesn't just end a relationship. It destroys something inside you. The part that once believed in unconditional love. She didn't lose me when I saw that video. She lost me the moment she gave herself to someone else and left me in the dark. And I found myself the moment I realized I didn't need her to be whole. My closure didn't come from her explanations. It came the moment I walked away and never looked back.